Ross pulled up outside a plain pawn shop as the sun set, casting long shadows. He checked his phone and glanced at the sign. Pawn shop. Tired but focused, he muttered, "This is the place." Parking the car, he got out and headed towards the entrance, feeling a mix of curiosity and hesitation. As he opened the door, the bell overhead jingled. The shop was dimly lit, filled with assortment of items stacked randomly. The pawn shop owner looked up from behind the counter and greeted him. "Evening, how can I help you?" Ross scanned the cluttered interior. "I'm here to pick up someone. I got a ride request for a guy named Blake." The owner nodded. "Oh, sure, Blake's in the back room." Ross moved cautiously towards the back room, passing rows of electronics, jewelry, and other items. As he approached, a small section of tools caught his eye, causing his eyes to widen in recognition. The tools looked strikingly familiar, like those Mr. Roger had on his last job. Tools? Damn, he done stole somebody's tools, he muttered, shaking his head, refocusing on finding Blake. He reached the back room and opened the door. Inside, Blake was sitting at a small table with a pawn shop clerk. On the table lay a collection of tools, several which Ross recognized from his painting job. Blake was pleading with the clerk, "Look, I need the cash. I'm just trying to get back on my feet. These tools are worth something, right?" So the clerk looked skeptical. "Yeah, they're worth something. Just need to verify they're not stolen." Ross' heart raced as he stepped further into the room. Blake looked up, his eyes widened in recognition. "Ross, what are you doing here?" Ross was confused. "I came to pick you up. I didn't know you were at the pawn shop. What's going on?" Blake's face darkened with embarrassment and frustration. "I'm just trying to make some quick cash. I got bills to pay, and I'm not exactly flush with options right now." Ross's eye flickered to the tools on the table, then back to Blake, his concern growing. "So whose tools are those? Did you steal them, man?" Blake's expression hardened. He stood up in frustration, boiling over. "So now you're accusing me too, huh? I needed money. I took what I could get. This is how it is. What are you here to judge me?" "I didn't come here to judge you," Ross said firmly. "But this isn't a way to handle things. You've already had a rough start. Stealing from someone else isn't going to help." Blake, anger flared. "You don't understand. I'm trying to survive out in these streets. I thought I could sell these and get a bit of cash and start fresh. You don't know what it's like." Ross was frustrated. "I get that you're struggling, okay, man? I get it. But this is going to make things worse. You can't keep making bad choices and expect things to turn around." The pawn shop clerk cleared his throat. Is there anything? Is there's nothing else? "I'm going to need to process this transaction." Blake looked between Ross and the clerk, realizing he was out of options. He slammed his hand on the table, clearly agitated. "Fine, I'll take them back. Thanks for nothing." Blake started gathering the tools, shoving them in the bag with angry, jerky movements. Ross watched, torn between anger and pity. "Look, Blake, I'll give you a ride. Let's talk about this. If you needed money, all you had to do was ask me. Whatever," Blake muttered. They left the pawn shop together. As they walked back to Ross's car, his mind raced with the implications of what had happened. He opened the car door for Blake, who got in silently. Ross took a deep breath before getting into the driver's seat. Both men were silent as they drove away. The car was tense, lit only by the dim glow of the dashboard. Ross gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white. Blake sat beside him, his face a mix of frustration and anger. The atmosphere crackled with tension as their argument heated up. "If Mr. Roger finds out you stole those tools from one of those job sites, you're going to get fired, Blake. You're risking everything with this crap," Ross yelled. Blake's voice rose in response. "Yeah, well, maybe I wouldn't be in this mess if it weren't for you. You think I don't know what's really going on? You think I forgot about that robbery?" "Don't start with that," Ross was furious. "I'm the one who took the fall for both of us. You're the one who ratted me out, man. Made sure I did more time, and you think I'm supposed to be happy?" Blake shot back, his voice full of bitterness. Ross tried to defend himself. "I didn't have a choice. I was trying to save myself. I didn't mean to rat you out like that." "Now the truth is finally coming out," Blake snarled. all along. I knew you were never really on my side. While I was locked up, you were out here building a family and living a good life. I wanted that too. I wanted a family and a future, but you and your damn snitching messed it all up for me. Ross's anger flared again. I didn't mess anything up. You're the one who made those choices, who decided to screw me over. You told the detectives everything, left me to deal with all the fallout while you took the easy way out. You left me with no choice, and now you're blaming me for your problems? Blake yelled back, you're the reason why everything went sideways. If you hadn't snitched, if you hadn't played the murder, maybe I'll have a family and a life. Instead, I'm stuck trying to claw my way back while you live a life I was supposed to have. Ross turned. You think I don't know how hard it's been for you? I've been trying to help, trying to give you a chance, but all I get is this resentment and blame. If Mr. Rogers finds out about those tools, you'll be right back at square one, and I won't be there to clean up your mess this time. Oh, don't act like you're so innocent, Blake shouted. You got your nice little setup. You think you can just wash your hands of everything? I'm trying to make things right, and all you do is make it worse. Ross leaned in, his voice low and intense. I'm trying to help, Blake, but if you keep screwing up, you keep dragging me into your problems, don't expect sympathy from me. I'm done being your scapegoat. Sympathy? I don't need your sympathy. I need a chance, and you took that from me. Now I'm left fighting for every inch while you live comfortably. It's not fair, Ross. It's never been fair. Their argument reached a boiling point, both men shouting at each other, their past grievances surfacing with each heated exchange. The car was a battleground of anger and frustration as they drove through the night, the weight of their shared history hanging heavily between them. Ross' thought churned as he drove, his frustration and introspection entwining. Blake thought it was his fault that he ended up serving more time in prison, like somehow he betrayed him. The truth was Ross had to make choices to defend his life and future, choices that didn't sit well with everyone. Blake's anger and belief that he had sold him out weighed heavy on Ross. He never wanted Blake to feel that way, but it was hard to explain the decisions he made when they were about survival and trying to build a better life. It felt like he was paying for past mistakes all over again, trying to make amends while dealing with the consequence of choices he had to make. The burden of it all was more than just a personal conflict. It was affecting every part of his life, and he was struggling to find a way through it.